Hi everyone, this is Liz from Creative Life of Liz, and I'm here planning for the week of November 24th through the 30th. This is in my B&R Paper Crafts Plan B planner. If you'll notice, I already have bottom washi down. Excuse me. That is because I thought that I was going to use another kit from Vintage Glam Studio. However, every time I print it, no matter how I change the size settings for printing, it ends up printing too small. And so it doesn't actually fit in the planner. And I just got frustrated doing that because I feel like I'm just wasting time and ink and my emotional stability and whatever. So I'm just gonna figure out something else for this week. So as you'll notice, I already have bottom washi. This one with the pumpkins is from Simply Gilded. And then the other one is a really old one from Michaels. And so my plan is to just make things work with this bottom washi. So I pulled out a bunch of leftovers from my stash. I've moved a bunch of things that I have as leftovers just onto this like plain sticker backer here. So I have a bunch of full boxes. A lot of these are really old and from my shop, but some are from other places. Like this one is from Chasing Chels from a principal kit that I helped her test. Things like that. So my plan is to make it work. I think I'm going to use these 6 plus these 2. I don't want to duplicate the boxes, but I can use these 2. So that'll give me 8 full boxes there. I have a couple more on this page in case I need them. And then I have this page that has a few leftover pieces. This looks mostly like fall stuff, honestly. And then some more leftover pieces here. So my plan is to somehow make all of this work. If you watched my December kit posting that I posted, I guess it'll be like 10 days ago by the time you see this, you'll know that I have plans to use kind of a bunch of things from my stash for the last week of the year. I'm going to try something similar. I think this is a little more organized because I already have full boxes together and I know that I have enough full boxes, but we're just going to make it work. To go along with this stuff, I do need to pull in a few things. So I pulled a couple of old Avalon and 9th kit headers. I think the blue and the red and then this kind of yellowy green color, I think are going to work okay with the full boxes that I have. So my plan is to use these guys for the 3 sets of headers. And then I'm going to write in the dates with this beige zebra mild liner, just because I feel like light brown will go with everything. So I'm going to put in the headers and we're just going to kind of see where this goes and make this work. So I will be back after I do these bits. Okay, here's where we are at so far. I think this is looking fun. Hopefully this is going to turn out. So let's start going through some of these full boxes. So I think there's a few that I kind of know for sure where they're going. So the one that says give thanks, I feel like should go on Thanksgiving. And then the one with the girl with the shopping bags should go on Black Friday. I think that makes sense. So I'm going to stick those 2 down. So then I'm going to make everything else kind of work around that as best as I am able. So I think I kind of want to use like this one to go with the lady on the other side, kind of like the person ones. I think I'm going to use this one as my quote box. This is also the one from Chasing Chels, so it's like a different shop kind of situation. Let's see. I feel like maybe jack-o'-lanterns go on Monday since that's like the closest to Halloween. Obviously not very much Halloween anymore, but I still think that jack-o'-lanterns are a thing. If you're anywhere near me, you'll know that the squirrels start eating them by this time. And then let's see. Maybe the dog on Sunday, just because it seems really chill. So that seems appropriate for Sunday. You can kind of hear they sound weird because they're so old. I think I'm going to put the food here on Saturday. And then the leaves over here. There we go. All right. That actually kind of goes together reasonably well. This one's a little lighter than the rest, but I think that it'll blend in once everything is kind of together. I don't think that it's going to be a noticeable issue for sure. Moving in to kind of like the daily stuff, we'll start with the sidebar. I am going to use some of these little like washi strips because again, I kind of want everything to blend together. And then I think I'm going to use 2 habit trackers. So one will be for socials and then one will be for movement. Honestly, a thing I might fail for Thanksgiving week. We're going to have to see how that goes. They're really skinny, so I don't think I have any icons just like handy. I guess we can see, I do have my seasonal book out. So let's see what's in the fall section. If there's anything that would be like small enough for either socials or for movement type things. I could use one of these little guys for Thanksgiving. That could be fun. These are all like too tall. So they don't really fit in the amount of space that I have. Or I could use like this Happy Thanksgiving. That also could be fun. Oh, what about one of these? Those are a little tall too. They're gonna conflict. I feel like the list goes really well, but all right, whatever. We're gonna just go with this and it's gonna be fine. I do then want to put in a checklist of some sort. I could call it a next week list. I think I'm going to end up needing to call it like a this week list, like a to-dos. So I think I'm going to take this next week list and I'm just going to trim the top off of it, the part that says next week. Most of the time I just end up getting rid of those, but for now I'm just going to stick them in there. I do want to put in another one of these little skinny strips. There we go. And then I still have a good amount of space left. Let me see. If I put one of these, do I still have a full box space left? Maybe. Oh no, I just tipped over my light for this. Okay, there's a couple of full boxes, I think, that were in here. This one, all of these samplers from Simply Gilded, this one. I think I'm gonna use this one from Sarah Elizabeth Prince that says Be Thankful, since that seems like the most appropriate for this specific week. It does leave, I think, not enough space for like a wider box. So I am gonna pull out this one from Peppermint Planner. I think I can just pull out one of these little orange guys and just stick that down. I'm trying to get it straight if possible. And then stick this down after. And there we go. Okay, that fills in pretty well. And I think it looks pretty good overall. So that's really cute. Moving on to the daily plans. I only am working 2 days before I do some travel related things, but I am working Monday, Tuesday. So I'm just gonna use these leftover boxes. This is a little bigger than I usually use for my work boxes, but I think that that's gonna be fine. I don't have any other strict plans for the first half of the week. Curling is not happening. We take the week off because of the holiday. Moving on to Wednesday, first thing in the morning will be travel time for meeting up with my family. So I think I need something. I don't really have any that seems like, you know, travel themed for this time of year. I suppose that's not too surprising since that's not really the theme of this time of year overall. Let's see, maybe I'm just gonna use like some cute icons. What if I use these little guys from Craft Penguin Planner? I'm just gonna use one of these. I mean, it looks like that turkey's fine, so I think that's close enough. That's all I have for Wednesday. Thursday, I am gonna put in this Happy Thanksgiving. It takes up a lot of space, but I also think that's fine because we're mostly just gonna hang out with family that day. Nothing major going on in terms of activities or anything like that. So I'm gonna go with that. And then on Friday, that's gonna be our actual day that we do Thanksgiving like as a meal. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull out this fall box, and I'm gonna pull out this one from Perfect Prince Co. This little cornucopia, and I'm just gonna stick it on top, try to center it more or less. And then I'm just gonna put it in right here. And then I can put in whatever happens after that down below. And then after that, Saturday, we are flying back home. So I end up with needing another one of somethings. What if we use a feather from this Craft Penguin Planner? Why not? I am gonna leave just like a little gap at the top, I think. And then I'm gonna stick this one in, and then Sunday will probably be like groceries since we'll have been out for a few days. So I think we're gonna go with this for the pre-planning. I think it's looking pretty cute, and I think it's starting to come together so that the colors are not super weird or overwhelming or anything like that. But stick around for just a second and you can see the finished spread. Okay, here's the finished spread. I'll give it a little wiggle and a twerk. Not a ton of foiling, but definitely a little bit down here at the bottom. As you guys already know, I used a bunch of random leftovers. So I did finish off these two glitter header things, and then the rest of my leftovers, I still have a bunch left, and these are just gonna go back into my stash for use later. Whenever makes sense. I'm not going to try to cover every shop that I use because honestly, I don't know. I had a lot of miscellaneous leftover things, but I know this is a Zebra mild liner. I know these are all Avalon and 9th headers. The bottom washi is Michael's and then Simply Gilded. And then I had a lot of leftovers that I'm not sure where they came from. All these like boxes and flags and these checklists, no idea, honestly. I'm pretty sure these little meal guys are from My Planner Life UK, but don't hold me to that. This is Chasing Chels. I believe these are Organized Potato, Lovely Planner Blog, Sarah Elizabeth Prince. This one comes from, I had a seasonal thing, from Peppermint Planner here. These checklists, I believe, are from Pretty Planner Principles. I also pulled in some other of my seasonal samplers. So that includes things like the Sarah Elizabeth Prince one, which is these guys. I don't think I used anything from this So Cute planner. I pulled stuff from Perfect Prince Co. and Craft Penguin Planner. So that's things like the little turkeys, this wagon, the Happy Thanksgiving, stuff like that. And I think that's it. The full boxes, I believe, are mostly leftovers from my shop. And then this is little Creative Cavern Studio. I do know that one. Otherwise, I'm not really sure where a lot of this came from, but it is stuff that I just had in my stash, so I'm excited to be using it up. So that's all I have for today. As always, please like and subscribe below if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. Let me know how your week went down below. If you're in the US, how was your Thanksgiving? If you don't have anything that you want to leave me a turkey emoji just to say hi. I would love to hear from you. And then follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Creative Life of Liz so you can see in progress and finished spreads, bits and pieces of my life, what I'm reading, all that good stuff. And until next time, bye.